Welcome to Lionesses of Africa. I'm speaking today to Dr. Harnet Bokrezion of Africa Business Jumpstart in Frankfurt. Africa Business Jumpstart is an online blog and coaching company that supports Africans in the diaspora and on the continent in pursuing their business ambitions in Africa. Harnet, welcome to Lionesses of Africa.
Thank you very much, Melanie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Firstly, tell us a little bit about how Africa Business Jumpstart is working specifically with women entrepreneurs in Africa. I know that your organization works with all entrepreneurs, but for the purposes of today, tell us a little bit about the women entrepreneurs specifically.
Sure. I mean, when I started out my business, I'm focusing more on the African diaspora seeing to come in. But what I realized is there was a lot of interest also within the African market, in terms of guidance, tips, strategies. A lot of people, they have the wants, they want to start something, they are inspired even by stories that they hear, but sometimes they don't know how to go about it. They feel kind of lost or confused where to get started, or they have ideas and they don't really know, are their ideas really good enough?
Yes.
And that's where I come in. And what I realized is that my audience is really half-half. You see it on the statistics, Google statistics. So I have a lot of interest from African women, both in the diaspora and on the continent, which frankly, actually, I didn't expect. So it just shows you, the growing ambitions in African women to actually take up entrepreneurship. And the beauty of it is that the entrepreneurial stories that we are already celebrating in Africa, loads of them are women,
Yes.
Lots of them are young women, lots of them are mothers, lots of them have started with nothing and they have built hugely successful businesses. So I'm also talking about these stories to some extent in my blog to show the strategies that they have used towards success. So, and I think there's nothing better than a woman to be inspired by a woman, a mother to be inspired by a mother, because it's only women who can relate to the problems that we encounter, so.
Absolutely. So basically, Africa Business Jumpstart is all about providing advice, guidance, support for those women that are wanting to do business in Africa.
Absolutely. It's for those who are at the very starting stage. They want to do something, they have an idea, but they're not quite sure how to go about it.
Sure, great. And what advice would you have for African women entrepreneurs who are maybe looking to find new markets in Africa for their businesses, for their products, for their services?
Sure, absolutely. I always say, as we all know, Africa is a huge region, 54 countries, and we refer to Africa or the market of Africa, but really it is it's a region with 54 different markets, yeah. And there are huge differences within those markets.
Sure.
So what I would say, first of all, start with what industry are you in. So don't start with the country. What I see is that a lot of African diasporans, they start with the country that either they come from that country or the family
Yes.
comes from that country, or they know someone in that country already,
Yes.
And that's very often not the right approach. I mean, if you are, let's say, if you are from Nigeria or Kenya or South Africa, then you come from a very vibrant economy, and then it makes sense to do business back home.
Yes.
But there are a lot of countries in Africa which, frankly, are not vibrant economies, and I would not suggest that you try to expand your business in those countries. So what I would say is first look at your industry and then see which markets in Africa are dynamic markets for your particular industry. And then among those markets, choose the one that's easiest. Because there's a lot of markets that are very difficult to operate, to get into, to operate in, high risk. So choose your industry, choose all the countries that are good or dynamic for this particular industry, and then choose the easiest business environment among those markets. That's one strategy that could work.
That's good advice. And And really, just you're in a great vantage point to be able to look at the continent as a whole. I mean, which emerging markets at the moment stand out for you as being quite positive and proactive for women entrepreneurs?
Yes, I would say. I mean, as I said, there's a variety of very strong markets in Africa right now. Very dynamic markets, a lot of markets with a lot of potential. However, I would say, as one, first of all, go into a market where operating is not too difficult.
Yes.
I mean, it is hard enough to start a business. It's even harder in a market. It's even harder in a market where the business environment is not conducive or it's very difficult. And then, frankly, there are markets which are more difficult for women. Because women are not as respected. You still have those traditional prejudices existing. They are still existing in some countries.
Yes.
So I think good markets, for example, the entire East African community is a very good market. So it's Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda. Rwanda is great. It's has a very conducive business environment. It's easy to do business in Rwanda. You can literally get your business registered within a day, and I mean that's really, it is so, because friends of mine, they wanted to start something in Sudan, Khartoum, and I said, why would you go to Khartoum? It's hugely difficult. It will take you months to get something started. Now this, upon my advice, they went to Kigali. They got a business registration within a day. So this is like 5 days after they arrived. And now I received an email a few days back and saying they're opening shop. I mean, they only
So it's easy as that.
They have set foot into Kigali 10 or 12 days ago. I mean, it's amazing. So Ethiopia is a great market, especially for the Ethiopian diaspora. Can be a little bit difficult for outsiders. Botswana, South Africa, in the south, and then towards the west, Ghana, possibly Nigeria, if you're from the Nigerian diaspora.
Okay, interesting. And then if women entrepreneurs want to find out a little bit more about Africa Business Jumpstart and maybe how it can help them, particularly if they're starting out, if they're a member of the diaspora, or if they simply would like to know a little bit more about what you do, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. Just visit my blog. It's on africajumpstart.com, and I think you will find a lot of blogs that will be helpful for you. I've divided them into how to overcome obstacles that you may face, and also how to identify opportunities. And I also provide coaching and personal consultation if you feel stuck or you have an idea and you don't know how to implement it. So that's I can come in.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We've been talking today to Dr. Harnet Bokrezion of Africa Business Jumpstart. From Lionesses of Africa, thank you very much.